He is the host of the School of Greatness podcast since 2013. Over 40 million downloads there and nearly 1 million views in the first 24 hours of the first episode on Facebook Watch, Inspiring Life with Lewis Howes. Every available episode comes Monday right at noon Eastern Time. First episode aired just a couple of Mondays ago. Good to see you, Lewis Howes.
Thanks for having me.
How are you,
Appreciate
brother?
it. Doing incredible. You know, when you get to wake up and you feel healthy being down in L.A., it always feels good. So,
do you live out here now? Or?
I live in West Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And every day for me, I do a lot of trips around the world and see a lot of different people and experiences. And I'm sure you get to see a lot of different people and experiences as well.
Right.
And every time I see someone with nothing who's happy, and I'm living in, you know, LA where a lot of people want to visit or want to live, and I'm healthy and I've got things happening in my life, I feel very grateful.
So I guess, what is the message that you try to deliver every day?
It all
Lewis?
depends, but the key is to live in gratitude, chase the thing you love. It could be your dreams or just the thing you love, and then be in service. You know, you talked about being serviceable, but this is being in service to other people, right?
Sure.
And I think if we can follow those three things, then it's a pretty good life. You know, we don't have to struggle as much if we can focus on three things, which is focus on your health, being grateful for it, pursue the thing you love, and then give back some. Give back to your friends, your family, your community, and as your reach and influence grows, give back to the world.
It sounds so simple.
Very simple.
But it is not easy to accomplish.
Not easy.
No. So what have you overcome, Lewis, for those who might not know?
I mean, how deep are we going here?
Let's go deep. It's fine. We talk about a lot of deep stuff.
I mean, when I
on
was
the show.
5, I was raped by a man that I didn't know. And for 25 years, I used sports as my outlet to get the aggression out. It was my safe environment to express emotion. Because growing up in the Midwest, there wasn't like a safe environment with your peers or your teammates to talk about the challenges that you had. And I think my parents at the time didn't have the emotional capacity to really know how to even talk about that with their kids. And they didn't know even it happened because I was ashamed and guilty of it. So at 5, that happened. And then my brother went to prison when I was 8. So for 4.5 years when he was in jail, you know, being a kid in the suburbs, there wasn't a lot of other kids whose parents would let them hang out with me because my brother was in jail at the time. So again, that gave more fuel to the anger to want to use sports as my outlet to express myself because you couldn't talk about it. You couldn't say how you're feeling. This is just how sports was, and I think still is, the environment, at least in the Midwest where I grew up. You weren't allowed to express these things as a guy, as a male, straight jock, right? It wasn't acceptable. And that fueled a lot of my passion to prove people wrong early on, to achieve, to show that I was successful or powerful or good or whatever it may be. And that was where the drive came from, wanting to be a great athlete. You know, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I wanted to be an All-American. And I achieved all those things. The challenge is when the identity is stripped. As you know, a lot of athletes they go broke after a couple of years of being retired, and the identity is stripped from us.
So difficult.
It's the most challenging thing to overcome. You may not think so because these are all-star athletes who had it all. You know, they're talented, they're successful, they made money. But when an identity is stripped from anyone, I don't care if they've had it all or not, when we lose our identity and we have nothing else to fall back on, no other skills, and we're celebrated and acknowledged for our identity, it's really hard to say, well, who am I? What's the point of being here?
There may be a lot of folks out there who are veterans coming home who have similar aspects.
Their identity is stripped. When you lose a job, your identity is stripped. When you get a divorce, your identity is stripped. You were once this power couple or this married couple that always went to the same places together, and now your friends are divided, you know.
So then Lewis Howes here on the Rich Eisen Show, that's when you reach for the 3 simple things? I mean,
I think you got to figure out your own reason why you're here. You know, I think you got to figure out, well, what's my purpose for being here? You know, we may not, and again, I'm kind of going off here on this, but we may not know why we're here, right?
And we talk about life issues here on the show.
We may not know why we're here. I think we're always discovering, look, what is the purpose of this? Why am I here? What's the reason for my life? What's the meaning? Am I supposed to be on this path? Am I supposed to be in this relationship? Am I supposed to be playing this position or whatever is happening? And I think what I have found is that living in gratitude helps end suffering, helps end the pain that we feel inside. Because again, if we see perspective of, You walk down the street, you see homeless people out there. Man, I've got a pretty good life. When we see perspective in our experience, then we can start taking ownership for what we do have and appreciation, as opposed to, I wish, I don't know, the tea was hotter today or something. You know, the little things that we complain about become irrelevant. So appreciation and gratitude is a must for me because it keeps me very grounded. It keeps me grounded of looking how good I do have it. Even if I feel like, well, I lost my sport and I lost my dream and I lost all my money and this happened to me when I was a kid and, you know, whatever, I've gone through this challenging breakup, but look at all the good we do have. And I think when we focus on the good, more good comes to us.
And then, you know, these are life issues. Normally, obviously, we're into the escapism stuff here. You know, talking about De Niro movies today and what happened on fantasy football or, you know, your draft and all that sort of stuff. So it's fine that we can get real. Sure. But you've sometimes had some athletes on your pod, right? Mm-hmm. What have you seen from some of these athletes that you've had that's kind of that you've gleaned about what makes them successful?
Well, the greatest athletes that I've had the fortune to interview Ray Lewis and Maria Sharapova and Novak Djokovic and a lot of other great athletes. But, you know, when I interviewed Ray, and I'm not sure if you've interviewed him,
but my gosh,
what a presence, right? What a power. And here's what they all have in common. They all have a lot of things in common, but the unwavering belief in themselves is undeniable of how powerful their sense of confidence and belief. I remember interviewing Ray, and I was like, what was your ritual before every game? And I'm not sure if he told you this or he talks about it publicly, but he said, I wouldn't even go out in the city the night before. You know, we'd get off the bus.
He roams the streets. He does. And he talks to people. It's crazy. He would do that after games, too.
Well, this is what he said. He said before the game, he would go into his room the night before. Whenever he was done roaming the streets, he would go in and essentially create a spiritual experience, visualizing what he was going to do, the pain he was going to inflict on the competitors the next day. And he would get in a robe, take a bath, light candles, and have a spiritual experience about the vision and the belief in himself for tomorrow's game. And I think that level of commitment and vision and dedication to their craft is what makes them so special. You know, you saw Tom versus Time.
Yep.
The dedication to film at this age is even greater than when he was in college, probably. He is so committed to his craft. It's hard to beat someone who is willing to do whatever it takes, and not only willing to do whatever it takes, but then steps on the field and says, I have done absolutely everything in my power to know every person's name, every first step, every insecurity they have, and I know everyone's weakness.
Did Ray tell you the candles were my idea?
Were they? I like that.
Just saying.
Did you go and light them for him?
Watch how I prepare for this show.
Would you light them for him?
Just saying. No, Ray, you know, that's... Ray is just he's a unique guy. He just did the whole
Hall of Fame stuff
with a headset mic.
And he
first guy who ever walked around. He explored the Canton stage.
Were you there?
I was.
Was it inspiring?
It was indeed.
Every time I'm around that guy, it's just like gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. And you're on Facebook Watch as well. You've got a Summit of Greatness coming up in Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio. It's your favorite town.
Ohio.
I know it's your favorite town.
No, look. The Ohio State is an incredible place. I've seen it.
Have you been to the shoe?
I've never been inside that for a game. I mean, come on.
Are you serious?
Lewis.
I haven't been to the big house, but I will go there. Lewis, if you come to the shoe,
no, I understand.
I will go.
I understand how, you know, positive and inspiring the world is on occasion. I might have a problem walking into the horseshoe.
You know, it's funny. Can I tell a quick story about this?
Please.
I was at the game. Was it last year? When were they playing last year? The big house?
Yes.
So the year before I was at the game.
The one where Michigan won because there was a blatantly miscalled fourth down measurement. That game?
So you mean the one that Ohio State won?
That's that one, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm sitting in the Michigan parents section.
Oh, boy.
There was like a little section with Michigan fans. Yes. It's all the parents, right?
Yeah.
And it was actually Tom Brady's managers got me the tickets.
Okay.
Right, from Tom. So I got the Michigan ticket section.
Damn.
And I couldn't wear Ohio State because I didn't want to be that guy in the middle of all these parents who are like rooting for their sons. But I'm sitting there just like so happy every time something happened good, but I couldn't scream because I wanted to be respectful of Michigan fans because I care about you guys as well. Just letting you know.
Lewis, you are an empathetic individual.
That's it. But I did rush the field. It was amazing.
You did rush the field?
At the end, everyone did. It was amazing.
And you held up the referees as you walked off the field. You gave them the Rudy treatment. Walking off. So, and again, that's a 3-day event featuring workshops
in Columbus.
On October 4th through October 6th.
Yep.
Get your pod, School of Greatness.
Yep.
And then Inspiring Life with you, Lewis Howes, on Facebook Watch every single Monday at noon Eastern.
That's it.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
You got it. Come back
Appreciate
anytime.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.